We are live. Oh my goodness, Christina. I am so pumped for our live. I call it like a show, a podcast. Sometimes I need to like solidify it. But guys, for those of you who join me every Tuesday, I have something extra special for you tonight. This is a fellow colleague of mine, fellow pharmacist. Tonight is going to be a little bit different. Okay. We love to kind of shake it up a little bit. It's not going to be straight Airbnb, right? But it is a talk where we're going to be discussing the entrepreneurial journey. And we have a special invitation. So I have with me Dr. Christina Tarantola. It says, I was going to say Fontana, but I just
It is. That's my maiden name. You call me whatever you want.
I was like, I got thrown off. Dr. Christina Fontana, and we are talking about her journey from a full-time pharmacist to full-time entrepreneurship. So she is a health coach and she helps other pharmacists and other healthcare professionals monetize their magic. Who doesn't want to monetize, your gifts that you have been given? And so we're just super pumped about tonight's talk. Had it not been for me venturing into entrepreneurship, specifically with real estate investing, I just wouldn't know, at all what this world would be about. I would know the wins, the ups. I would know the downs, because it's almost cyclical, right? There are challenges, there are phases, but I'm just super pumped that we have individuals like Dr. Christina that are out there who are willing to challenge the narrative of, you're this one-trick pony. We were talking a little bit earlier in the green room, like, well, you have a good job. Why would you want to do something else? And I think that was part of my survivor's guilt, to be honest. I was thinking to myself, well, I got this great job, but why do I feel so like uncomfortable? Why do I feel so like I was made to do more? I was made to do something, why do I feel that? And I was able to secretly challenge that narrative and kind of dip a toe into entrepreneurship. But I just love the community that you've created that has given so many of us permission, right? Permission to experiment, to seek out this brave new world. And so I'm just so humbled and grateful that you're here with us, Dr. Christina. I'm going to allow you to just introduce yourself. Let us know who is Dr. Christina Fontana and how did you first get into pharmacy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like in my mind, I have so many things that I want to just say. First of all, I want to just thank you for your support, your unwavering support for me and what I do, and for this conference that we're going to be talking about. And I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful to have you in my world, and that we're going to be partnering and all of the fun things that we have going on. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost. And I love, before I even introduce myself, I don't want to lose this thought. I love how you use the word experiment, because that is really what we weren't given permission to do in traditional pharmacy. It's that you have to stay in this box and there are a rigid set of rules and this is how it goes. And you don't go out of that, because if you do, there's a negative consequence. And so whenever we're looking at the framework of how we were conditioned, as pharmacists, it's like, follow the rules. You can't express yourself. You don't have a voice to be able to say, hey, I need a bathroom break. Like, you guys, human basic needs. And so when you go into entrepreneurship, it's totally different. And so I love that you brought that concept of experimentation and creativity and innovation. And what you talked about too, about really it's unlocking those gifts that we have, because I felt the same way in pharmacy. I'm like, I have so much creativity. I have these things inside of me that are waiting to be unlocked. And so that is what I help pharmacists do now, is turn your gifts to gold. And that is really because you are gold. anybody watching this, I want you, before I even introduce who I am, I want you to know you are gold.
Yeah.
And so many of us grow up with the conditioning of you have to be a certain way. And I am here to break that open and to say, no, you can do anything that your heart desires. And I am living proof of that. And so I just want you to know that before we even dive into this. So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
I love
Yeah.
that.
If we were to dive in, it would be like 5 hours of us chit-chatting because
I
it's
know.
so good. So good. But I'll hold it in. We're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, and
We're gonna have to do
I'll
some
introduce
chatting in
myself, but I
person,
had to say
right?
that first.
No, it's
So
so
yeah,
good.
my name is Dr. Christina Fontana. I am a pharmacist, 5-time author, rapid transformation business coach, and creator of the Healers in Healthcare movement, which is really geared to empower pharmacists and pharmacy students as well to really think outside the box, to turn your gifts to gold, and to scale profitable healing businesses. And I know that there are so many people out there, pharmacists, doctors, nurses. We essentially have the same, clientele, you and I, where we're really trying to reach that healthcare professional who's burnt out, who knows that they have gifts to share. And there's a lot of these healing specialties that are popping up in that I'm seeing in the last 5 years, holistic wellness, herbalism, functional medicine, pharmacogenomics, all of these different healing specialties. And I really feel that's where healthcare is going. So I'm super excited to be here. And yeah, we're transforming healthcare.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And it is so needed, right? Oh my goodness. So what has been your journey? How did you get started with pharmacy?
So my dad was a pharmacist and I worked in his store. I always joke and say I was like born in the store because, I was sweeping at 3 years old. Like my dad was kind of like, get that broom and let's go. So, sweeping the floors, helping people find cards. I was the cashier and worked my way up until, I was going to be an intern and a pharmacy student. And, I followed in my dad's footsteps because that was the safe choice. And I knew that I wanted to help people, but I realized as I was getting into my 5th year of pharmacy school, that little voice, it was like a whisper that you mentioned before. It was like, I know I'm meant for something more. I know that something inside of me, it's like the now or never. And it was like that path, that poem about the two roads diverged in a wood. It was really that. It was like, am I going to stay safe and take over this pharmacy, or am I going to go follow that nudge? Even though my entire family's pissed off at me right now that I'm looking at that option. So I had a lot of resistance. I had a lot of, my dad couldn't even look me in the eye. He thought I was betraying the family. My brother, was cursing me out and saying all of these, like, just really bad, just tons of abuse, tons of just, resistance. And they couldn't understand it. And I still went for it because I was like, I just know in my gut that this is going to be something, and I didn't know what it was going to be. And I'm still evolving now. But, I wound up actually, I know for brevity, I'll keep it really simple and sweet, but I got kicked out of my house. I know that you've read my story before. I was homeless. I was living out of my Mazda 3, my tiny car. I had to roll up all of my clothes and put it into my car. And it was because I spoke up for the first time in my life, and I took my power back and I stated, this is what I desire. And I got punished for it, kicked out and all of that. And I didn't care because I knew in that moment that I was making a decision that was scary as hell, but that was going to lead me down a path beyond anything that would have been safe in that other route. So,
Wow. Wow.
yep.
So for those of you who are listening to this right now, I really want you to take a moment and ask yourself, where is it in your life that you're playing it safe? Where is it in your life that you're playing it safe? Because it might be a place where you're actually playing it small, and in order to level up, you got to really play it all out, just for you to just, this is the family business. Dr. Christina, are you kidding me right now? You're going to do what?
I was like,
exactly. And you were out. And I'm super, I'm I got to tell you, so coming from a background of being a little girl from Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere,
Yeah.
the what's held up as, the ultimate win is that doctorate of pharmacy, or the attorney, and
Yep.
and that is it. And so it's from a different, angle, but I know that feeling of, oh my goodness, if I divert from this path, there's going to
Who's gonna leave
be,
me? Yeah.
yeah,
Or be pissed at me. Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So I just think this conversation is very, very timely, because I know a lot of colleagues of mine who are in that same position, not necessarily from the standpoint of expectations from their, maternal, paternal family, but this is who I am, right? This is who I am. What would I do if I did not, perform as a pharmacist? Then who am I, right? And they're crying on the way to work, not from a figurative perspective, a literal perspective,
Yeah.
crying on the way to work. And when the suggestion is being shared, well, what about this other thing that you're talking about, or this other, like, oh no, that's that's for other people. And so I think I just, wow. I'm at a loss for words. That's so good. All
Yeah.
right, so, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, and that voice was so small, but
Mhm.
you keep taking steps into the unknown, and you're always supported. Even with this conference that we're putting on, I was scared to put it on. I'm like, I've never done something at this size, but it is amazing when you trust that voice, that intuitive nudge that, like, hey, I should be doing this thing, and then you actually take action towards it, the scary, bold action. You're supported. So many pharmacists I know are afraid of failure, but I want to reframe that for you to see again, because back to what I talked about in the beginning, it's like we're used to following rules, A plus B equals C. In entrepreneurship, it's totally different. So you could mix all the ingredients in the kitchen, and you could, maybe it doesn't work out the way that you thought, but maybe it works out better. Maybe you can pivot and repurpose a launch. Say you have like a failed launch, or you don't get the number of clients. Okay, well then repurpose that content and create something else out of it. Or, it's learning how to pivot. It's having those essential skills of, like you said, experimenting, being curious. But you will be faced off with yourself, with fears, with your patterns. And this is where I come in, and I love diving in with women and men to help empower them to see that when you get out of your own way and you get past these survival patterns that are really trying to keep you safe in the old realm, that you can create a life and a business that has such a huge, humongous impact on the world. And I feel like, to me, that is really what this Healers in Healthcare conference is all about, is getting out of that box of the comfort zone. And I've got you. I'm going to hold you in this space. I am creating a safe, loving space to have you experiment, to have you learn and be childlike and play. And oh my gosh, we're going to be doing so many fun things, but it's getting you out of that logical place to expand into the infinite possibilities that are available for you when you just follow that voice. So if you've been watching my content, if you're watching this video and you're like, I'm on the fence, I don't know if I should go, just come to the conference, and let this be the first step that is getting you to, like, the breadcrumb trail. It's getting you to that next point in your career or your business, and taking that action in a safe space. Right. So it's like out of the comfort zone, but it's still in a safe space where you're going to be networking with people who, like Rachel, like, imagine being in a room with rock stars like that, and learning and growing and networking in a safe place. That's really my intention.
Yeah, and I'm super pumped about it, because I know in the green room we were talking about how when I first took my foray into entrepreneurship, there weren't, a lot of communities where you could do this, right? There weren't a lot of pharmacists who were forward
Yeah.
thinking in this way. And so just really appreciative of this space that you're curating, because, well, tell us a little bit about your first for a Dr. Christine, what were some of the challenges that you faced when you first started?
Oh my goodness, I had so many blocks. I had like every like people pleasing, perfectionism, unworthiness, like you name it, I had it. And I'm always, I have a nervous system coach that I work with. I have my own traumas that come up and get triggered in my business. I mean,
Mhm.
you're managing your team, you're doing, social media marketing, you're doing all of these different things. So,
Mhm.
I think that was the biggest thing that I was challenged with in the beginning, was not knowing how to navigate what was happening inside of me, because I had zero confidence in my ability to be a coach back when I started 2012, so 11 years ago. And so I wish I would have had a coach like, a transformation coach to help me accelerate the path. And I've had so many different coaches and Tony Robbins and invested in so many different mentors. I think support is so huge for this
Yeah.
journey. And so that's why I think, I always create experiences that I wish I would have had. And so this is something
Mm.
that I feel like I wish I would have had, the love and the support and that person that's taking your hand and walking across the scary bridge with you. That's me.
Mm.
And I want people to feel that love and that support, and like, I've got you. You're here with me. You're here with Rachel. Like, that is the environment that I strive to create as the Cancer that I am. Right. So we strive to create, and you create it too, the luxury, beautiful experiences.
Yeah,
Environment is huge.
exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely love it. And I think it ties back into what you mentioned a little bit earlier is, being afraid of failure, right? And you really, in business, there's no such thing as failure. That's my opinion. I think
Yep.
you either win or you learn. And this is where you're right. We do get to experiment. We do get to navigate, challenges, and everything that occurs, for us. It's information that we're able to gather, and then, iterate upon it. Whereas, when it comes to, you dosing that, pediatric, TPN, yeah, I'm going to need you to not experiment with that. I'm going to need you
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
that to perfection. Like, that needs to be perfect. So we can't necessarily apply that to entrepreneurship, right?
Absolutely.
Entrepreneurship is like a series of failing forward, but until we kind of get our groove, really. And even when we get our groove, it could be a seasonality, or, repositioning our messaging, a number of things that we may need to tweak. So I'm here for it. I actually lean into it now, whereas before, like, if I didn't get the results I was anticipating, that was it. But now it's like, oh, that flopped. And my team was like, oh no. I was like, no, it's okay. I know exactly what happened. We
Yeah.
launch it 30 days later, and your problem solved, 6 figures. It's like, okay, so this is definitely, doable. I get it. And you just learn from it. And sometimes it costs something to learn from it. It's like, okay, I just spent all this money on ads, and now, you know,
Right.
did I lose it? Not necessarily. It was a learning, it was information. We're going to debrief and make sure we write this down and know, what not to do next time, or here's how we retarget, and we can just kind of fine tune a little bit more. And it sounds difficult, I think, to make it, cross that bridge from here to there, but it's the conversations that we have at this next level, and just getting in the room with those who are operating at, the level that you wish to operate in one day. I think is very key. And I'm so excited about some of the sneak peek that you gave us about the conference. Could you tell us a little bit more about the Healers Conference?
Yeah, so the Healers in Healthcare Conference is in Cincinnati from May 5th to the 7th. And this really, the vision that I have for this is to just bring together healers in healthcare, pharmacists, students, doctors, nurses, healers, to be empowered to, again, move beyond what you think. Like, you're with yourself every day, you're with your business every day, to learn new things that will expand what you think is possible beyond the logic that your mind tells you. Because again, back to the pharmacist, like we're used to, it has to be a certain way. This is how I launch. This is the strategy. And what I do is I blend the energetic and transformation piece of releasing these, I call them blocks and barriers that hold us back, to empower you to then implement the strategy. Because we know that there's the idea, like say that someone has an idea, and then there's the time that goes in between before they actually implement it. And what's in between is all our stuff. So all of the resistance, the protection, the defense mechanisms, the doubt, the fear. And so that's part of what we can explore together so that we can heal ourselves, to be able to then lean in with our patients and with, the people that actually need to hear the message. But if you have a message that no one's hearing, or that, you're not really connecting on social media, like say you're posting a bunch of videos, but your heart isn't connecting, then what's the result going to be? So I love to work with, energy and helping you to connect with yourself, to transform yourself so that when you show up, there's power. You command a room, you go, this is who I am. And that soul client is going to say, I want to work with that person. And it's communicating your brilliance, and it's the strategy, of course, but it's also this deeper work. So we're going to be playing with a lot of that. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be doing all sorts of fun things that are surprises. We have a speaker panel. We have, different training CE sessions. You're going to get 10 hours of live CE. So that's just a little bit of a taste. I don't want to give it all away, but I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. Yeah. And we're going to have some vendors as well.
Yep.
You said, yeah, I mean, the CEs alone, for those of you who are thinking, I don't know if I can take some time off of work. Well, it's part of your professional development as well. So I think it's definitely a win-win for sure. And I'm so grateful that you're able to offer CEs as well. It tells us that, the ACPE, they find it to be important for us to kind of, delve into some of these interests outside of just the rote pharmacy work that a lot of us, started off doing. So that is super, super exciting. So why do you think, Dr. Christina, it's important for healthcare professionals? Because I know this is not just for pharmacists, right? It's for other healthcare professionals. Why do you think it's important for healthcare professionals to kind of explore entrepreneurship or explore these other, interests outside of, the day-to-day?
Because when you do something you love, when you use the gifts that God gave you, there is no greater joy that your patients are going to get, that you're going to get, and you are nourished by your giving. I'm actually going to be teaching about this at the Healers in Healthcare conference. I call it 5D wealth circulation. So you have resources inside of you. So often we're looking out there for where's the money, where are the clients, When you circulate your gifts, that you are your God-given gifts, through your knowledge, through your communication, through your vibration out into the world, and you do it from a place of power, you can't help but be successful. And I actually, I watch you, and I'm like, I tell my husband, I'm like, look at this amazing, this was months ago. I said, look at this amazing woman. She's showing up. Talk about wealth circulation. You are always giving and having people on live, and you inspired me to start, with my Healers in Healthcare. I see you. I really do. And I feel like when you circulate that out, you're naturally going to receive, and you don't need to know how. And so that's the principle that I want to teach, because I feel that so often we're waiting. Well, I don't have the money yet. I don't have this yet. I don't have that yet. But when you tap into those resources within you and you unlock that, that's when you can circulate your wealth, and then you receive abundantly in return, because you're doing what you love. And that is true success to me. So.
Yeah. And I'm with you. I was working on a talk that I'm going to be giving. And one of the things that I will be discussing is how I think healthcare professionals are the ones that can heal a lot of our healthcare care system woes. And so
Yeah.
part of it is tapping into those gifts that are outside of just the rote healthcare that will, bring in that joy that you mentioned, that's gonna just completely transform patient care and thereby completely transform the system that we currently have. So Dr. Christine, who would you say this event is for? Could you give us,
Yeah.
an overall idea? Like, do I have to be experienced? Do I have to be a service provider? What if I'm interested in creating a product? I mean, who
Yeah.
who is this for?
This is for the pioneer that is a rebel, that is ready to do things differently, that it's really more
Mm,
so of a frequency. It's not, it's less of the like on paper, like this is what you like, oh, a person that is, an oncology pharmacist or whatever. It's more so the frequency of I am ready to elevate my energy to the next level in my business to make a bigger impact in the world. So if that is you and you're ready to disrupt our broken healthcare system essentially and be an empowered healer in healthcare that will create a domino effect in the world, then this is for you. That is really, to me, the core of who this person is.
I love that. I love that. So guys, I see that we have quite a few
Oh,
people that joined us on Facebook, the YouTube channel, LinkedIn. Feel free, my friends, to leave your questions in the chat. I know that Christian is collecting any and all questions along the way. I see you there, Christian. Welcome, everyone. So tonight we're doing something a little bit different. I'm speaking with Dr. Christina Fontana. She is a fellow pharmacist at ARMS, but she's also an entrepreneur, a health coach, as well as a coach for other coaches or aspiring coaches who are looking to do something different. And we're talking all things entrepreneurship, as well as sharing an extra special invitation to an event in Cincinnati, Ohio. So feel free to leave your questions. For those of you who just joined, I wanted to give just a quick intro, because I think this conversation is one that is just so powerful, and it's one that we have not had
yeah.
before. Yeah, so I'm super, super pumped about this, because the road to entrepreneurship for me, it was lonely. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie, not even gonna lie, y'all. It was quite lonely. And just the space, when I heard of this event that Dr. Fontana has put together, I was like, okay, this is amazing. Wish I had this when I was first starting out. And so I think this is going to transform a lot of lives.
Yeah.
So guys, just tune in, tap into what we're sharing tonight, because I think it's going to change some lives for sure. All right. So Christian, I'm looking on the sheet. I'm doing as best as I can. And for those of you who are like, hey, what's going on with Rachel's voice? Yeah, I came back from the event, y'all, and it's been strep throat and all of the things. But yeah, definitely, guys, leave a question, leave a comment. Let us know where you are in your journey. If you're in that space where you're thinking, you know what, I'm feeling kind of scratchy, like, you know what, I really need to be doing something else. This is a safe space. This is where you get to say it. I know in our day-to-day, we're not allowed to speak out. Some of our work environment and our home environment is not a safe space. It's just not.
Yeah.
And I've been there, and
That's
and
That's the beautiful thing. I want to just tell this quick
yeah.
story. So I had my very first retreat that was out of state. It was 2 years ago. And someone walked in and she was like, "Oh, well, like, am I dressed okay?" I said, "Come as you are." And that, like, she almost cried because I was like, "Come here." I gave her a hug and I was like, "You come as you are." Raw and real. I've had people cry on my shoulder. I've had people, have massive breakthroughs and all of it. It's absolutely a safe space that you can come and speak your desires and share what's on your heart or whatever that might be. So
Oh, I love it. No, I absolutely. I love it. And it means the world. It means the world to us as we're starting, this journey. Again, I so appreciate and I so honor this space that you're curating because it's so needed. And it's I think it's the event that you don't know that you need, right? Like you need it, but you don't know that you need it. And I'm like, trust me, like for those of you who are thinking, okay, what even is this really? Right, Dr. Fontana, how do we like convey? Because I'm a skeptic myself, right? Like,
Oh, you jumped
yeah,
right in.
right. But no, but because I know the power of proximity, I know the power of being, in a network with others who are crushing it and others who are doing the thing.
Yeah.
But say what if I don't know that? How do we like convey,
Yeah.
what it is that you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that I needed this until I took, I jumped into entrepreneurship, both feet in. But for those who are just sitting on the sidelines, they're not comfortable and they know they need to do something else, but they don't know that they need this. This is the event that you need.
So I'll say this, and you talked about this before, you can stay uncomfortable where you are and just stay stuck and miserable and crying on the way to work. Cause that was me. I had to take Zoloft. I was having panic attacks. I was miserable, but I had to be the one to take the step. I actually hired a coach for $20,000 back in 4 years ago, and I never looked back. So this is the portal, this is the doorway for you to step into your new life that is not in recreating the same patterns, the same thoughts, the same emotions. You're going to be completely transforming to take your entrepreneurial idea to implementation. You're going to be literally coming up with new, and what if as an example, I actually just thought of this the other day, this is great. What if this $1,000 investment gave you access to $1 million idea? Right? So think about what's possible outside of your everyday, getting up. I joke with my husband, I'm like, we do the same thing every day. Like we get up, we have coffee, we go on the couch, we do this. I'm like, let's do something different. Let's change up the pattern. Let's be around people and foster conversation and ideas. And maybe you go on someone's podcast, or maybe that person becomes a client, or who knows what. But that's the power of coming to an event like this, because you're going to be learning, connecting, growing, getting out of your comfort zone to create something totally new for your life. So that is the best way I can describe it. Is you're not going to know unless you open that door and join us.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, your best investment is in yourself, really.
Yep.
Like take that chance on yourself, because again, honing in on the gifts that you were given, you carry gold. You absolutely carry gold. And I love that. And I know that for those of you who are like, okay, what hoopla are they talking here? $1,000 idea, $1 million, like it just doesn't make sense, because we're pharmacists. Like,
Yeah.
things need to balance out. Are we going to do, stoichiometry? What's the formula for what it is that you're talking about, right? Guys,
I don't think I've heard
she's
that
not
word in
joking.
like 10 years.
Yeah, but I just, it just doesn't make sense. But I just want to highlight that it's not going to make sense. Any investment that I have made into myself, I've received it back tenfold.
Yes.
Point blank, period.
Yep.
Point blank, period. And so she's not joking. $1,000 investment can be $1 million idea, honestly, especially when you're given the space, right, to really lean into whatever gifts that you really have inside. When do you really have an opportunity to take a step back, right, and just lean into those gifts and just, without any barriers, just to dream and to really put yourself out there and, to be held, like Dr. Christina mentioned, which I absolutely love. Yeah, it's true story. $1,000 investment can be $1 million, can be $1 million idea. I'm just saying, look, and I know we've got the receipts. Right? I mean, it's out there. You have members in our community, other pharmacists who have broken away from the status quo and who, you
Yeah.
know, who have seen massive amount of success. So yeah, we carry gold. We all carry gold. And it's just a matter of, planting that seed and watering it some more, and surrounding yourself with those who will continue to, invest in you and to water, so to speak, water you to grow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. And you'll leave with lifelong connections. And when you bond in an experience in a container like that,
Mm.
I've had every other retreat that I've ever had. Those people go on to be friends. They're on each other's podcasts. They do business together. So think about, again, what I said before about wealth circulation. Like, you put that $1,000 investment out there, you
Mhm.
go down this path, you're going to receive.
Mm.
Maybe, it's a not a compliment. Maybe it's, I give that example a lot. Like, you'll receive things in return. So it might be like a business opportunity,
Oh
or
yeah.
other things that, maybe it's not money right away, but it might be
Mm.
down the line, because everybody's connecting and you never know where it could wind up. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about something a little bit tactical and tangible, because we
yeah.
spoke about the different I guess, should we call it verticals? Because I know I'm a pharmacist, but I primarily focus on real estate for medical professionals, pharmacists, and other busy professionals. What are some other types of coaches that you have worked with or you've
Oh,
encountered in your world? Because I think it's
I
ooh,
got,
there
I
you
got a
go.
whole bunch in here. So this
I
book
love this.
that I wrote with 19
Ooh,
other
I'm
women,
about to,
they,
okay.
because this question that you're asking pertains directly to that.
Yeah.
You can
What's
create,
possible, right?
oh yeah, financial coaching, spiritual coaching, herbalism, holistic wellness, hormonal health. I mean, I could
Mm.
go through the whole list, but that's why I wrote that book, because,
Mhm.
and curated that book, because again, I want pharmacists and healthcare providers to see what's possible
Yeah,
in entrepreneurship when you move beyond the counter. That's what it's called, moving beyond the counter.
I love that. I need to
So,
grab my copy, seriously. Oh my
oh, we'll
God.
have plenty at I'll give you one at
Congratulations.
the conference.
Oh, no, I love that because even with our current healthcare system, we still need a few more touch points, right? Going to see your doctor, every 6 months as a, diabetic that's semi well controlled. I don't think that's enough, with the hormonal therapy, with the herbalism. Are there alternatives to what I'm being prescribed right now? So
Right.
those additional touch points, I love that we have pharmacists that are creating, a space so that those, who are able to connect with them can, get those additional touch points, which I think is so important.
Yeah, even, I'll be transparent with my fertility journey. I have a coach who actually, so she was my client and has taken like every program that I've had in the past 2 years, but I
Mhm.
hired her as my fertility coach.
Mhm.
And it's just that next level of someone holding you in this space. Like a computer, you can't Google for someone to hold space for you. Like, I could Google all I want, but she helped me with nutrition and, supplements, and with my husband and all of the things. And, you know, just that level of support that, like you said, it's that extra touch point that, if I have to go to the fertility doctor, I'm like, hey, what do you think about, how, and she's an expert, she's studied this, she has a certification, all of that. So all of that to say, I really do believe that pharmacists have such a unique just knowledge base and ability to
Mm.
scale and layer their knowledge with certifications, of course, but again, tapping into your innate gifts and your story and the life lessons
Mhm.
that you've been through, because I feel that that's really where people connect with you. Like,
Mhm.
you could be the smartest person, but people need to be able to connect with your heart. And that is the true transformation of, because we've all been through trauma and experiences. And, so if we have a wall up and we're just like up here in our mind and we're telling information, are we really connecting with our patients? So that's another kind of deeper layer of, the transformation process is really creating and empowering our patients by connecting with them. And that comes through sharing your vulnerability, sharing your story, right?
I
So
love that. And the thing is, I know that some people are thinking right now, it's like, oh man, Dr. Christina already found this amazing fertility expert. Oh, well, I guess I can't do that. Why do we do that? We
yeah,
often do that to ourselves, right? And you just spoke about it, the vibe, you connected with that individual, but does
right.
it mean there's not enough room for me to have my own fertility practice that's
Yes.
my own? Like, could you speak to that a little bit?
Yes.
Because I'm sure you encountered that a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are so many different things that people are going to be attracted to. It's your energy. There could be somebody that really relates, like, I have a lot of stories that I always share about my dad. I have a father wound and abuse and all of that. Well, when I share that story, I connect with a certain individual who might also have that same experience. And that's actually what I find a lot is I attract a lot of women who have kind of similar patterning to what I have experienced. And so when you speak, I call it communicating your brilliance, when you can speak clearly and own your story and say, this is what I've moved through and this is who I help, you're going to naturally, and again, this is energetic, you're going to be attracting and drawing in those people that are aligned with you. So it doesn't mean that just because Rachel is also a business coach that, or, as an example, that, there's not more than enough for everybody to, for people to connect with her. And maybe that's, something that they're just being drawn to her for whatever reason. So I would definitely say that, again, this is part of the work that I do with my clients is helping you to own your story so that when you speak out on social media, that you attract that soul client who's like, yes, that is my coach. I just know it. I feel it because you're showing up as yourself in your full self-expression, in your radiance and speaking directly to their heart. So that's what differentiates you is your story, your vibration and how you show up. Like I have a different personality than someone else, and maybe that's what they're attracted to. You never know. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that. So for those of you who are thinking, you know what, well, what I'm thinking of has been done before, but not necessarily. It hasn't
yeah,
been done by you. So there's
yes.
definitely someone, who needs the exact gift that you have delivered in the exact way that you're delivering it, and it'll land because it's you. So
Yep.
yeah, let's not deprive the world from your gift. So super super excited about this conversation. So guys, if you have any questions, if you have any ideas really that you're thinking of exploring, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're here with you. If you want to go anonymous, feel free to do so. Email me, because I know how it is. I used to be a closet entrepreneur when I first started. I don't know who's watching. I don't,
Oh, please ask questions. I love answering questions.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna drop the link again, guys. It is May 5th through the 7th, Cincinnati, Ohio, Healers and Healthcare Conference. This is a movement, guys. Ready or not, this is a movement. Here it comes. And guys, it's gonna be fire. Don't come. I tell my people, don't come crying to me when you miss out, because
And when you
I
see the
tried to tell
pictures and the
you.
footage, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. And this is definitely going to be the room to be in. And I'm a firm believer in, showing up to places where you're not the smartest one in the room, showing up to places where, there are others who are just absolutely crushing it. And this totally fits the bill. And Christian, I just went ahead and I dropped the link in the chat. Actually, Tori dropped the link in the chat. Thank you, Tori. Look, who am I kidding? Right? Let's just stop kidding ourselves. Tori's like managing a bedtime with the kiddos, and she found a way to drop the link for us either
Wow.
way. But I do want to share my screen a little bit. That's okay with you, Dr.
Yeah.
Christina, because I want to kind of move us through. So guys, when you get the link, I'm going to move this over
You
here.
can X out of that.
Yep. When you get the link, you'll get this beautiful pop-up, and then the amazing Dr. Christina. Look at this, guys. Look at how amazing. Next level, guys.
I had, by the gift of God, I found this amazing woman who designed this landing page, and I'm just like, you're mine. So I'm having her redo all my other landing pages.
Isn't that something?
She's
So
amazing.
You're going through a whole rebrand, redo.
Up level, yep.
Next level. That's right.
Turning your gifts to gold. Yes.
Yes. And look at these stories. Just amazing stories, guys. Yeah, definitely go through here, guys. Have a look. This is happening. And here are our lineup. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the lineup. I think the lineup is, you have a powerful lineup of speakers here. And if you guys do not recognize any of these names, where have you been? These are some of the top pioneers. This is like, a phenomenal lineup. Dr. Jurika, CEO of Pharmacist magazine, which I absolutely love. I'll let you go ahead and introduce the lineup real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so Dr. Kimber Booth. So a lot of these amazing people I've either worked with personally as clients, or there's Katie, there's my fertility coach. Todd Youre, founder of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, Sue Paul. I cannot wait to meet her in person. Thea, I feel like I know them all through like LinkedIn. Dr. Thea Blystone, she's up in Meadville over here. She does remote patient care services. Dr. Delon Canterbury, I can't wait to meet him too. He does geriatric deprescribing. Corey Wamsley actually was the editor of my past 3 books and my husband's 2 books, because my husband writes books too.
Oh, nice.
So she's going to be speaking about doubling your business income with a book, which that's going to be such an awesome topic. Rachel is not on this page, but she will be absolutely speaking.
I'm so pumped. I mean, just even the deep prescriber. I've seen Dr. Delon on LinkedIn. I was like, who would have thunk it, right? Like, I'm a pharmacist and my specialization is deep prescribers. Like, like just the idea. And we know how important it is when the little old lady comes in with that grocery store bag of 26 meds. You're like, this is not okay. Who said that this was ever okay? And so he has created a practice where, he is de-prescribing all of this nonsense. And there's an obvious role for it, right?
Yeah.
There's an obvious, and I just think it's incredible.
Well, and even so, just to kind of pause too on all of these people, I picked them because they really have a servant heart. I talked to Delon. I'm like, you need to be a speaker. I like didn't even give him an option. I'm like, you're going to be a speaker. But seriously, all of these people, I am really intentional. So the pillars that I build the foundation of my business are integrity, intention, and love. So I kind of picture like a pyramid. So I picked these people with intention to really bring together people who have a servant heart to heal. And we're going to be having breakout sessions with, all of these amazing individuals, so that you're going to get, even though it's going to be a big event, you're going to get these intimate portals where you're going to be able to pick their brain and say, hey, Katie Wood, I want to be a fertility coach. How, and asking those questions in a more intimate setting, which I really love. So I've thought of every little nuance of how to make this event something that you can really walk away with, a solid, actionable plan, people that you're going to be connecting with on LinkedIn that are going to support you in your business for years to come. And I hope that you do business with them and you get to know them, even on a personal level, because all of them, including you, Rachel, are truly gifted. And I'm so blessed to have them.
No, and I'm also pumped that you're giving us some of the top tools and resources that we would need. Like you just mentioned the book, Todd, who's the founder of a podcast network. Yeah. I mean, these are really, really important tools that will help your marketing stack, so that you can get the word out there. Because just, having the talent, having the gifts, but not sharing and having a way
Right.
to share and put it out there, it's not going to make that impact. But guys, the right people are going to be in the room. Okay. Everything you need is going to be in the room. So oh my gosh, I'm super, super pumped about this. Look at this.
Yeah. Let's do this
Let's
damn
do the
thing.
thing. Let's do it. Let's do it. And okay, we have early bird pricing for students and pharmacy technicians. And we also have early bird pricing for practitioners.
Yep.
What is this buy one, get one free, lady? So this is a buddy system. You don't want anyone flying solo, honey.
Yep.
I see you. And and I think it's so important, and I'm going to let you speak, but I have to say something. Like who wants to go to an event like this and go back to your hotel room by yourself and you're just sitting there, to have a buddy with you say, okay, all right, girl, all right, guy, what is it?
Yeah.
What's our next? Okay, go take it. I'm like, okay, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, so I've had, like I said, many retreats in the past, and I realized that it is so, again, it's about creating safety. I'm actually going to be talking about this a lot with the nervous system, because in order to feel safe, in order for someone to really absorb the content, I'm going to be teaching you some different neuro exercises, but it also comes down to the environment. It comes down to how I show up and how I present for you to be able to receive what I'm saying, as well as having support. So when you think about it, when you hire a coach, when you have support, your nervous system relaxes. It's like, oh, I'm held. Or like Tori's there. You're like, oh, I don't even need to worry. Like she dropped the link already, right? So when you have this support, the buddy system, it really does help create that I am held, I am safe, I can come into this experience and leave with information, a plan, support, even more support, and a belly full of good food, because we're going to have some chef curated meals too. So
Yummy. Yep. And guys, I will tell you that I've met my business bestie, in events like these as well. So it's just so transformative if you're able to do this, with someone else and bring someone else along for the ride. It's just absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I love the fact that there's 10 hours of live CE credits available, which is awesome as well. Okay, now we have early bird. I think we're like right up to the deadline. When does early bird end? Because we're like right there, aren't we?
So I did just raise the price. So this is reflected. This actually, it's going to be, I think, it for the remainder of the time. I'll have to see, but yeah.
Okay, guys, don't chance it, but buy one, get one free. Come on.
Yeah.
That's really a no-brainer. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a gift. It's a huge gift. Okay, so who is it for? Who is it not for? So guys, it's right there. So
pretty much, if you're okay with being complacent and staying where you are, then it's not for you. But if you're like, yes, let's go, then you're ready. So
I love it. I love it. So here's the itinerary. So Friday we start. Okay, so we start Friday afternoon. We register. We got the intro session. We've got dinner on our own. So building the solid, sustainable foundation to launch, scale your profitable business. Yeah, foundation work right there, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. You get us started. And then Saturday and Sunday. So for those of you who, have the weekends off, all you need is, just a few hours on that Friday to ask for a half day, and then you can make it. So I love that you're taking that into consideration. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what's this Pharmapalooza situation? This looks fun.
Yeah, so that's funny. So that's kind of a surprise, but essentially Todd Youre from the Pharmacy podcast, he has been talking about, oh, I want to have Pharmapalooza. It's like a party. And he's been wanting this for years. And I've known him for 7 years. I said to him, Todd, this is your moment to shine. So, we're putting this together. We're going to have music, dancing, some other fun surprises, but That's all I'm going to say, but it's going to be a party. We'll just put it that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna bring in the heat, I'm sure. I love it. Oh, diversifying your income to scale with ease. And I love this, because already what you were sharing about the podcasts, the books, and what I love about entrepreneurship, you can take that same content and deliver it in different ways, right? The
Yep.
same, ideas, deliver it in different ways and monetize it in different ways as well. So it's not always reinventing the wheel necessarily. Is
Absolutely.
that what you found as well?
Oh, yeah. Well, so
Mhm.
actually, and Corey's probably going to talk about this, but even with books, what I've done
Mhm.
is actually just transposed my blog, parts of my blog into books before. And I'm like, okay,
Nice.
this is coming in here. So I don't have to sit there and rewrite everything. I actually, even my presentation, I'm taking bits and pieces from
Mhm.
a past CE presentation that I did. So absolutely, it's
Mhm.
efficiency. We're going to be talking
Yeah.
a lot about energetic efficiency too, with again shortening that gap between the idea and the implementation, so that it's like I have the impulse. This is what I feel in my gut. I'm going to implement, because like I said, a lot of people, there's that, all the fears and the doubts and all of that. So we're going to be shortening that big time, so that you're pumped, you're ready to take action, and you're shortening that gap.
I love it. I love it. And sometimes you just need to be in that container, right? Because
Yes.
left to your own devices, we know we can get in our head and just think, oh, look at this venue. And I've seen this already, right? But I'm seeing it again for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So guys, I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of you who are on the call or watching the replay, because I'll tell you this, although you may see me on a weekly basis on this live, you may see Dr. Christina Fontana on, her lives and, in all that she's putting out there, there's nothing quite like seeing and giving a handshake or a hug
Yeah.
to that individual, like in the live setting. There's nothing like it. And for those of you who may be in our DMs, who may email us, who may, find us on LinkedIn, and I promise you, we want to connect, but sometimes it just, it gets lost in the shuffle. But when I have met you in person and you reach out, it's like, oh, this is so-and-so, we met. Like, I don't know why, but it's like, it clicks. I was like, oh, you're real. Everyone's
You're
real,
a real
right?
person.
You're a real person, but there's something with that connection, and
Yep.
it's different, and I'm not saying I'm giving preferential treatment to those who I connect with in person, but for some reason it feels, because there are spammers out there, of course, too, and I'm not talking about that, but there's like, oh, so and so, I remember when we had coffee together. I don't know.
Oh yeah, or an
There's
inside
something.
joke. Like, we're gonna be
Yeah.
laughing. I make teaching
Mhm.
fun. Like, we're gonna be having all sorts of fun too. It's not this
Mhm.
serious, like you need a name badge and all of the thing, like you need to wear a white coat. It's just come as you are. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna transform. We're gonna be raw and real together, and you're gonna leave transformed. That
I
is my
love it.
goal. So
I love it. Yep. So that's what we have for you guys tonight. Just show up. Um, yep, you're welcome. We're getting some gratitude in the
oh,
chats. You guys are welcome. Welcome. Show up, holler at us if you have any questions about the event. Would love an excuse to see you in person, to hug on you, to love on you. And yeah, see you
two
soon.
Cancerians. What's better?
There you go. Alrighty, guys. I hope you all were inspired. I love you all to the moon and back. I'm gonna head back to bed and
Feel
get
better. Yep.
better. Yeah, feel better. But I love you guys. And that is all we have for tonight. Bye-bye for
Thank
now.
you so much.
Oh, thank you. I